So get eye level with it.
All right. Let's go.
That's on camera.
First time ever seeing something like this. Let's go.
Is this working? Yeah, that's working.
Good job. Fuck yeah. Seriously, good job. A lot of people were complimenting me that. Good job, thank you. 2 hours later.
What's going on? I hope you're doing well. In this vlog, before we get to the guidelines for healthy eating, don't eat like an asshole, I wanna walk you through one of my favorite exercises for your lats. And this is a cable rope pullover. And before I get into the technique, I wanna give a huge shout out to Paul Carter. He's designing my programs. He's a tremendous coach, very knowledgeable. His Instagram is amazing. If you don't follow him already, we're gonna link to that in the description. This exercise is one of my favorites because it uses the lats so well. The issue is a lot of people screw up the technique. Number one is when you're doing this exercise, or really any lat exercise, you have to think about, okay, what are the functions of the lat? And number one is the lats are designed to depress your shoulder, to get your shoulders down and away from your ears. So what that means is if your shoulders are shrugging up towards your ears, you're not gonna be using your lats properly. A lot of times you're gonna be using too much shoulder, too much arm, or more momentum. So number one, if you notice, you're gonna see my shoulders really down and away far from my ears, especially at the end range of motion when the cable is above my face. Sometimes as I bring the cable back, I'll shrug up to get an extra stretch on the lat, but before I initiate the movement again, I bring my shoulders down and away from my ears. What's also important to remember, and I think a big mistake that people make, is they try and retract the shoulder blades. So they try and pull them in towards each other like you're trying to pinch a pencil in between your back. Not what you wanna do. You wanna try and keep your shoulders down and away from your ears, and more just keep your shoulder blades in place from the perspective of not trying to bring them in, but also not trying to protract them or bring them around too much either. Keep them in the same position, down and away from your ears, and as you pull the cable over, try not to use your hands too much. Think about more trying to pull with your elbows a little bit. Lead with your elbows, not your hands. If you're using your hands, a lot of times, number one, it's easier to use momentum, not your muscle. Oh my God, hi. Sorry, just getting my Diet Coke out of here. But really quick, if you do not subscribe to my YouTube, would you just do me a favor and just go hit subscribe? And also, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Cute little thumbs up, it helps a lot. I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. And number two is, because it increases the distance away from your lat, there's a lot more that can take over. So by thinking about trying to pull with your elbow, or even more just trying to get it really down towards your shoulders and pull from there, you're gonna feel a lot more in your lats. And the other thing I like to think about is try and think about bringing your shoulders and putting them into your back pocket. All right, so the more you're trying to shove your shoulders down and away and into your back pocket as you bring the cable over your face, the more you're gonna feel your lats light up. And again, what I really wanna mention here is, it's not a lot of weight. You shouldn't be going very, very, very heavy from the perspective of the amount of weight you use on a lat pull down will be much heavier than the weight you'll be using here because you're at a mechanical disadvantage, all right? So it's much lighter weight in this movement, but you're probably gonna feel your lats much more because you're really isolating them. So give it a shot. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and let's get into the guidelines for healthy eating. There it is. Coming back to Columbus, Ohio is like very nostalgic for me just because I trained at Westside here, got to speak here earlier today, and now Minelli's Pizza, best pizza I've literally ever had in my entire life. So I'm gonna get this in there. It's okay, this good. Ugh, Mom, I'm just super tired and super exhausted and so busy. I just don't think people understand what it takes to be an Instagram influencer. I just don't think they do. You're always judging yourself. No one cares, but I care, and then I project that insecurity onto everybody else in Instagram, okay? All right? Yeah, I just woke up, it's noon, okay? Anyway, I gotta go. I love you, man. Let's look at Instagram. Oh look, another stupid post from Jordan's stupid Syatt. Let's see what he has to say. Guidelines for healthy eating. As if you even know what that means. Let's take a look. Number 1, don't eat like an asshole, okay? Number 2, when you do eat like an asshole, don't be an asshole to yourself. Ugh, you're just so stupid. You're so stupid. If you could hear me through the phone, you're so stupid. You know why? Because you're not even telling me what foods I can eat and what foods I can't eat. Because I have this pouch and I'm trying to lose fat, all you can talk about is this stupid calorie deficit. I'm tired of going on Photoshop and photoshopping this pouch away and photoshopping my cellulite and then just telling everybody to have a good vibes and telling everybody to love their body, because I don't love my body, okay? And this advice doesn't help. You're so stupid. If you could hear me through the phone, yes. You're so... I can hear you, Kenzie. So the post Kenzie was talking about, it was actually, hold on, it was that one. And it's on Instagram. If you don't follow me already, follow me there. Rico's gonna put it here. So as you know, if you've been following me for a while, when it comes to fat loss, a calorie deficit is always the most important thing, because without a calorie deficit, you won't be able to lose fat. But anyone who tells you that a calorie deficit is all that matters, they're not telling you the whole story. And the issue that I see on social media now, especially as fitness grows and grows in popularity and more coaches want to really stand out, is they're making fat loss seem much more complicated than it is. Because the reality is this, fat loss is not easy, but it is simple. Being in a calorie deficit, it can be challenging. You will get hungrier. There will be times when you get tired. There will be times when just having the motivation and willpower to stick to what you want to do is very difficult, but it's a very simple process in terms of being in a calorie deficit. Now, how to get in a calorie deficit, it's gonna change based on the individual, what foods you like, when you like to eat, how often you like to eat, what foods fill you up most, what foods make you hungrier, what foods make you tired, what foods give you more energy, what foods make you just feel better. That changes person to person, but it doesn't change the fact that you need to be in a calorie deficit in order to lose fat. The point with me making this post was to try and show you how simple it really is. That first and foremost, before you start trying to count calories, before you start trying to track your macros, before you start trying to delve into this process, which can be very challenging and there's a lot to pay attention to, above all else, you know what foods are probably gonna be the best for you. You know that intuitively. Like we know, generally speaking, what foods are gonna fill us up more, what foods are gonna be more nutrient dense, what foods are gonna be better for us for health long term. And that's what I mean by don't eat like an asshole. And it doesn't mean that you can't have certain foods, or it doesn't mean that I'm demonizing foods at all. And that's the whole point and reason behind the second point, which is when you do eat in a way that doesn't necessarily fall in line with your goals, don't be an asshole to yourself. Don't shame yourself. Don't guilt yourself. Don't make yourself feel bad about it. Don't judge yourself. Don't put yourself down for it, because the reality is this: life is way too short to be stuck to a rigid set of guidelines that is unsustainable and unenjoyable. I think what a lot of people struggle with is balancing achieving their goals and living a happy and healthy life. It's a very difficult process to find the balance of, but you can do it. And the only way to do it is to be forgiving of yourself, not be an asshole to yourself, but also call yourself on your bullshit. Be aware of when you're not doing what you need to do in order to achieve your goals. Just because you're not doing what you need to do doesn't mean you need to be an asshole to yourself. And just because you are doing what you need to do doesn't mean that you're never gonna fall off again. It's okay. And you need to be the number one person in your life who supports you and also pushes you. Because when you look to other people for that, you're always gonna be relying on extrinsic motivation, extrinsic support, and that's good to have in your life. I think it's very important, but you can't rely on it. The only person you can rely on is yourself. That is bar none the most important thing. So when it comes to fat loss, when it comes to health overall, which they're two separate things, it's important to realize health and fat loss are not one and the same, but they do often coincide. When it comes to achieving your health goals, your fitness goals, your physique goals, your strength goals, keep it simple. Do your best to not eat like an asshole, but when you do eat like an asshole, don't be an asshole to yourself. Just get back on track. I hope you liked the video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe if you don't already. Talk to you soon.